So with England's under-21 side chucking away a 1-0 lead in their opening round of the European Championships against France, going down to 2 injury time goals in a group that Croatia are also in, I can't help but feel a certain resemblance to 15 years ago when a Zinedine Zidane injury time double turned the game on its head and left England fans weeping into their cornflakes and me laughing all the way to sleep. Let's see where the England 11 are that lost to France in June 2004. David James. This man was 2 minutes away from a clean sheet, having had to do pretty much nothing all game. So how he ended up on the losing side, he's probably still wondering. He's also probably wondering how he ended up broke, despite earning over £20 million throughout his career. Christ above, man, sack your financial advisor. Since 2004, David James signed for Man City, back when they were also skint, Portsmouth, where he won an FA Cup, Bristol City, Bournemouth, and then it was off to finish his career in Iceland, and then Kerala Blasters out the back arse of India, who he'd later go on to manage before stepping down after an 11-game winless run. Gary Neville. So what's Gary Neville been up to? Well, he stayed on at Man United until 2011 before stepping into the media, before surprisingly shacking up at Valencia as manager in 2015. Unsurprisingly, it didn't work out. For God's sake, he was turning a former La Liga champion into a team getting slapped 7-0 around the park. He's back in the telly now and is currently a co-owner of Salford City. Ledley King. It takes a special type of talent to get into a team ahead of John Terry, and that's exactly what Ledley King was. It's just a shame his knees were made of tinfoil, or he'd have gone on to become one of the greatest defenders of the Premier League era. By 2006, he was barely able to train, just wheeled out for match days at White Hart Lane before finally chucking it in 2012. He's currently an ambassador at Tottenham, but a real shame. I mean, what could have been? Sol Campbell. And now for a former Spurs centre-back who'd probably be pelted with egg whites if he ever set foot anywhere near the goddamn stadium. In 2004, Sol Campbell was one of the finest centre-backs in world football. It's hard to believe within 2 years he was getting farmed out to Portsmouth, about 2 weeks after scoring in a Champions League final. Even more strange was his decision to drop down 3 leagues to Notts County in 2009, before immediately sacking that off after deciding he didn't want to spend the rest of his career freezing his balls off at Yeovil Town away, and so back to Arsenal in 2010, then finished his career up at Newcastle before a failed bid for the Mayor of London. I don't think he really thought that through, because at least 30% of the voting population wish he was dead. He's currently working miracles at Beaconsfield Town. Ashley Cole. What's Ashley Cole done since 2004? Well, burnt any ties to Arsenal by signing for Chelsea, winning every trophy under the sun, shooting an intern, cheating on Cheryl, a couple of years before she'd end up getting fluffed up the duff by that 12-year-old out of One Direction, before making friends galore at Roma, spending a couple of years in LA, and finally retiring this year under Frank Lampard at Derby County. David Beckham. This man no doubt spent this evening crying into a pillow. If he hadn't had his penalty saved by Fabian Barthez, England would no doubt have gone on to win this game. The Real Madrid star will go on to play for LA Galaxy, AC Milan, and finally PSG. Wonder how much his wife had to do with picking those destinations. 2 fashion capitals and LA. Is it any wonder the man didn't end up signing on loan for goddamn Stoke? She'd have probably cut his balls off with a rusty knife. He's currently launching Inter Miami CF, while no doubt trying to finally scrape out the helium that's been lodged in his throat for the last 20 years. Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard scored the opener in this game. Just another false dawn for England lads. The following season he was lifting Chelsea's first Premier League title, would go on to win everything else for them, score in Champions League finals, become the club's record goal scorer, even scored against them for Man City, which must have been like kissing your cousin, for someone not from Blackpool, otherwise it's just a daily occurrence, before seeing out his career in New York City. He's currently the manager at Derby County, although let's be honest lads, not for long. Steven Gerrard. Another man who since got into management, and another fella who ended his career in the MLS with LA Galaxy. Just don't compare these lads' trophy cabinets lads, Christ above. Gerrard spent 11 more years at Liverpool, 1 Champions League, 1 FA Cup and a League Cup, all of which were won on penalties. He's currently the manager at Rangers, where he'd have no doubt loved nothing more than getting one over Brendan Rodgers, the man who relegated him to the role of bench warmer against both Real Madrid and Man United. He probably felt like drowning that man in a frozen bath. Paul Scholes. Another man who's gone on to management, but Christ above, what a waste of time that was. Scholes stuck it out at Man United until 2011, where he retired for a bit before seeing out another 18 months, winning a host of trophies before taking up media duties, where he since moaned about anything and everything every other week, before being appointed by boyhood club Oldham Athletic in February. He walked out 4 weeks later. Wayne Rooney. Taking Wayne Rooney off in this game was a massive mistake. The teenage unknown had run France ragged, won a penalty, and his replacement, Emile HITC, would end up clumsily giving away the free kick that Zidane would score from. And also, it was Emile HITC. What business does he have on the pitch? Rooney went on to win everything in club football, became the record goal scorer for both club and country, didn't do much of the World Cup except try and castrate Ricardo Carvalho. He returned to Everton in 2017 for a season before signing for DC United last season. Let's face it, at the age of 33, he is far too good for that league. Michael Owen. At the time, Michael Owen was England's go-to man. The sad thing is, he was 24 and nearing the end. That summer, he left Liverpool for Real Madrid, sat on the bench for a year before making the biggest mistake of his life and signing a 4-year contract at Newcastle, despite the fact he was dying to return to Anfield. Injuries ruined him, although so too did his lack of hunger, with the captain on 100 grand a week, leaving the club in the Championship and walking out to Man United in 2009, pissing off 2 sets of fans in 1 clean swoop. He scored 5 league goals in 3 seasons before ending up embarrassing himself during the 12-13 season by spending the campaign sitting on the Stoke bench beside Cameron Jerome. He was finally put out of his misery by retiring at the age of 33, and now bores the living arse out of people on BT Sports for a living.